We be live. Wait, you muted. Did we miss that? Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Hi everyone. We're gonna be doing the news. We have 10 news item. That was that was kind of cute. I'm getting a little bit of an echo, but it's fine. I'm not gonna be picky
It's
about it.
just you because it can't be me.
It can be you. Okay, fine.
Mm-mm.
Oh wait, maybe it's my phone. I'm not sure. Okay, so we have people in the live chat. D is here. D is excited. D is saying, "I'm ready. I'm ready." And yeah, the news today is very heavy, especially the first one, right? So guys, we're going to be talking about the news on atheism, religion, sometimes politics and culture, but mostly atheism and religion. And today we are having a lot of news about India, and it's not pretty. It doesn't look like it's pretty, right? Like it's bad, right?
No.
Okay. All right, so we can't even clap, and I don't even know if you can talk about this. We're gonna get like YouTube is gonna destroy us.
We're
Guys,
going
make
to
sure you
talk about it carefully.
We're going to talk about it carefully. Okay. So, guys, please make sure you like this video because the stuff that we're about to talk about is really sensitive. And YouTube hates us because of that, right? So YouTube is like, why you got to do this? Why do you have to talk about stuff like this, right? So, and that's why our videos gets deprioritized. And you guys need to help us grow by liking the video, okay? So we need to fight the algorithm. We need to okay, so please like the video. Okay. Oh wow, somebody on Facebook is saying instantly intrigued. Okay, yeah, well wait until we get started. So we can we even clap? We can't clap for the first news? No.
No.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's
I'm not gonna lie, it is not pretty this week.
It's ugly. Okay.
Yeah. But we're gonna talk about important stuff. It was funny when you're like, YouTube does not like us talking about this. I'm like, honestly, I don't like talking about it either, but it's important.
Okay. All right. So I guess first news.
First news. Hindu priest calls for sexual violence against Muslim women in India. On April 2nd, a local Hindu priest in Uttar Pradesh, India, announced via loudspeaker in front of a mosque that if Muslim men harassed Hindu girls, he would kidnap Muslim women and RAPE them openly. I'm not going to say the R word in full because that is the guaranteed way to nuke a video on YouTube. So we're just going to say the R word when we're talking about RAPE. Okay. So he's basically saying that he would do that to them just in the open. This atrocious comment was captured in a video that was tweeted on April 7th by Mohammed Zubair, co-founder of the fact-checking website Alt News. The video shows the priest sitting on the passenger side of a car, broadcasting a speech through a microphone. According to NDTV, a major broadcast and digital news agency in India, the crowd cheered Jai Shri Ram, or Glory to Lord Rama, as the priest announced his plans. This video shows the priest saying to the local Muslim population, neither your place nor you people will remain. Again, YouTube, this is a quote from someone else. This is not what we would say to any community. He is seen to be escorted by multiple police officers during his speech in several videos.
I have never seen a crowd of people unanimously cheer RAPE. Okay? I've never seen that. Have you ever seen that before?
No, I haven't.
Look, even on Twitter, people are not saying RAPE. Is Twitter sensitive as YouTube? People look how people are writing it on Twitter.
No, I think people are sensitive in general.
Okay. If I play this video for the crowd, would YouTube be upset about that? Because
I don't think so. Well, we shouldn't play that one because it's not translated, but we had a member of our community who emailed me fully translated videos, subtitled, that I emailed you the link to. So if you go check the link, it should be a Google Drive.
I will do that right now.
Awesome. So
However,
while you
you
do
could
that,
talk
I'll
about it.
talk a little
Yeah.
bit about this.
I have
So,
2 videos. Wait. I have 2 videos. Which one? Oh,
uh,
okay. I see the crowd one. The crowd one.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
So
Go on.
this like caused such huge outrage in India. People were like, "Holy crap, are you freaking kidding me?" Part of what made the outrage so much worse is in different videos you can see either policemen just standing in the crowd or policemen. He's kind of like on this pickup truck and he's sitting in the passenger seat of this pickup truck that has, the loudspeakers on it. And then in the back of the pickup truck, on the bed of the truck, there are like 3 police officers like in the truck with him, essentially. And so people were really outraged by that. It took at least 5 or 6 days for the police to take any action against him, because clearly this is open incitement to violence. This is against the law, and this is a particularly sensitive thing in India. Like this incitement to violence is supposed to be taken a lot more seriously or dealt with a lot more quickly than in other countries, I've noticed. So people were very upset by the fact that it took so long for something this atrocious, this open, and this brazen to have action taken against him. Apparently, this local priest, I think the word for it is a manhunt. He is known for really flagrant comments before. And what's so crazy is that, so we're going to be talking about this for the next 2 weeks because there's so much to cover. So recently there was a festival called Ram Navami. And this is a festival to celebrate the birthday of Hindu god Lord Rama. And there has been an explosion of violence and incidents preceding and during this festival. And so this is kind of like par for the course. And a lot of this violence and escalation surrounding this festival literally happened by crowds of militant Hindus going into Muslim areas, going into Muslim neighborhoods, and going to go sing hate slogans, make hate speeches, even raise weapons in front of just local mosques all across the country. So we're going to be like, there's so much that happened in the past week that we're going to be covering this for, the next 2 weeks at least. But this is like part of that broader context. And so this happened. They went into this area, went right and did this on loudspeaker in front of a mosque. And there was something else important I wanted to say. Oh yeah, he has the most derogatory language. Like he calls the Muslim neighborhood like a pigsty. Like just every single slur you can think of is what he's using in this speech.
Okay, I have the video ready. I just have a question before I show it. If a fraction of this much anti-Muslim bigotry was happening in Europe, this would be international news. Like, wouldn't it? I think so. Like if like
100%. 100%.
Like if this like anti-Muslim bigotry to this level, like one tenth of this was happening.
If there was an incidence of one man doing this in front of one mosque in like Sweden or the Netherlands, it would be international news.
In fact, talking about Sweden,
this is happening en masse across the country.
Right, like today I was watching on BBC covering some anti-Muslim bigot groups in Sweden today because of some, but they're not covering this. This is 1,000 times worse, and with a lot more victims, a lot more Muslim victims than anywhere else. So I don't know why people are not talking about it as much. I mean, I know actually, yeah, but okay. So I have the video.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? What does that mean? What do you know? What is the implication there, sir?
The implication is that people be racist.
In what way? Expand that thought.
I mean, okay, that if Indian lives matters less than European lives, even if they're Muslim. Okay, so I don't know if racist is a better bigotry, maybe. Okay, it's been bigoted. Okay, so even people who want to be not bigoted, right? And they're like, oh, we care about Muslims. Okay, European Muslims matter more than Indian Muslims.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
to
thought
them.
you were approaching it from
to them. Yeah.
I thought you were approaching it from the angle of bigotry of low expectations, which may also play into this as well. Like,
Oh,
oh, this is just what happens over there. But in Europe, this is shocking and unacceptable. Do you think that attitude plays into the disparate coverage as well?
Yes, you're right. You're like, oh, we expect this from India. Yeah, you're right. That also, I didn't think about it. That also plays into it. Interesting. Okay, I have the video.
Here at Atheist Republic, we say, hail to the nah. This is wholly unacceptable everywhere. Consistency.
Yes. All right, I'm going to play this.
Nah.
Wait, we could get copyright for that.
I don't think that's copyright.
I think it might be. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to play this. Let me see if there's if there's any echo, please let us know in the live chat.
Do you want me to read the subtitles?
Yes. So okay. I pause every time there's a subtitle. Is that good, or you just let it go? Okay. But be careful, guys.
Heads up to our listeners. There's probably a lot of language in this that I'm going to have to use coded language for. So if you want to know what is actually being said, make sure to check us out on YouTube. Watch us on screen.
Wait, should we even play this? Should we even play this? Because this is like very hateful, isn't it? Like we're showing it on YouTube. Because YouTube like make be upset about the fact that we're showing such hate messages. Like I don't want to risk the channel.
Ooh,
like, what do you think?
I don't know, because remember what happened to Abdullah Samir?
Yes, we shouldn't play this.
Shoot.
We should provide a place for people to go find it.
Could we host it on our own website and put it into the news story now that I have the translated version that our community member sent us?
Yes. Put it somewhere here.
Okay.
I mean, there are translations here. Look, this is
it's not very thorough though. Not all of it is translated. But so guys, if you want a glimpse into how bad and vitriolic this is, it's so bad that they don't even, I was watching Indian news coverage of this. They don't even play the audio on Indian news. They're like, we can't even like share what this guy is saying. So maybe it's better that we don't play it. But on our website where we wrote up the news story about this, you can see the embedded videos where it's mostly translated.
You know, let's put it. So Secular Rarity on the live chat saying, doesn't Atheist Republic have a Discord? Let's upload the video on Discord, on our Discord server. How about that? But guys, link to our Discord.
Where is it going to live?
It's on our Discord, on one of the channels in our Discord.
Well, I'll think about that. Because the only problem is, on Discord, everything just gets repeatedly moved up.
Yeah. Okay.
Through the log. I don't know. That's a good idea, Secular Rarity.
Yeah. Guys, we have a Discord server. Join our Discord server.
Because we can't actually show you guys what this is because of reasons. Or what do you think about this? Like, give us your analysis. I kind of shared more of the background. I mean, besides the obvious, like, this is insane.
My analysis, my professional analysis is that this is batshit crazy. And
yeah.
I don't know. And India is getting worse and worse. And this is one of the worst cases of we being able to tell everybody, I told you so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We told people, like, when this is all we've been telling people how bad things are getting in India for a couple of years now, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
And so many people thought we're exaggerating. People thought that no, it's not going to get here. People thought like we're butthurt because of how much Hindus attacked us. We're like exaggerating things because maybe we're upset about it.
We were really underestimating.
Yeah, So people said that we were overestimating how bad things are getting in India. Apparently, we were underestimating it. Apparently, based on
I would have never expected this.
Yeah. This is getting so much more common in India. Like, I'm seriously now worried about like genocide becoming more of a possibility. Okay, I'm not saying it's probable right now, but the fact that it's becoming more and more of a possibility is pretty scary. Like this is like, I don't know, tensions are getting really, and it is within the best interest of these radicals on to make things even more extreme. I just don't know what to do. I just don't know how this is good. Like I'm hoping at some point. You know what? The only hope is that India is like there's a lot of economic interest in India, right? And all this radicalism is not good for business, right? So that's my
We're
hope,
going to
is
talk
that
about
as
that later today. We have a
really
whole story about that. Yeah.
okay. So I'm hoping at some point, the power of capitalism will come and put a stop to this, right? Because this is not good for business. This is why we need capitalism. Okay, but yeah.
Just need to just insert your little neoliberalism.
Yes, yes.
um
Oh, here,
so
wait. Yeah, go ahead.
uh-huh.
I have Hindutva Susanna in the live chat providing the counter narrative, which is good. So
Oh
we'll
geez.
address that soon. No, it's not that bad.
It's oh my gosh. I mean, I think one thing is it's so concerning to see how normalized this type of rhetoric is becoming. Like every week I see more and more videos of Hindu faith leaders, of various designations, just openly talking about, like, quite casually talking about the genocide of Muslims and calling it that themselves, like not by implication. No, like I watched this video the other day of this one priest guy talking about, oh, actually, we've decided that it's gonna originate from this area. Like that's how specific they're getting. That's how it's so worrying. And I used to kind of think, oh, well, is calling it like just the normalization of anti-Muslim bigotry like too generalizing, for the country? But it's getting more and more that way every single day. And I've been talking to a lot of people either in or from India recently because, Armin, like we've been following kind of the issues surrounding this for like the past 2 years. And I don't know about you, but and I don't know how much of it is, just me paying attention to it more than I did before. But if since January of this year, I feel like it has started to escalate at a pace and a rate and like a depth of vitriol that I have not seen before. Like it is since the beginning of the year, it has really seemed like things have just like set on fire. And I've been talking to people about this because I wanted to get their perspective on, is it just me, or do you get this sense as well? And they're like, no, it has been getting so much worse, so much more quickly. And most people are saying it has to do with the elections that are coming up.
Oh, okay. Do you want to read Katie's comment?
Katie is saying, 3 days ago, my parents were telling me that Muslims haven't taken over India because of the BJP. I knew they were conservative Hindus, but they weren't BJP apologists last time I saw them. Oh my word. I confronted them and they actually asked me if I think if I think Muslims are good people. I just can't. And then she said, this ideology is growing fast. Holy cow.
Oh, AGA just became a member. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for becoming a member, AGA. I think, I mean, we're going to talk about this more throughout the episode today, but it's really concerning to me the extent to which, like, it is like Indians are turning on fellow Indians. Like, these are your fellow citizens. Like, these are your neighbors. These are normal people who have lived in your country for generations. Or from the beginning, they just had a different faith. It's really crazy.
Okay, you want to read Hindutva Susanna's point?
Oh boy. So Hindutva Susanna saying he got, meaning the priest who did this thing, saying he got arrested for that hate speech. A few.
Okay,
stupid...
don't read that sentence, okay? Because
I know I was going to use coded language.
Okay, because you two might think we are being bigoted. Okay, Read it off of his
Okay, so
screen.
basically he's saying a few stupid Hindu goons.
Oh my God! I was
They're
trying to get you
they're
not to put stupid next to the word Hindu
oh
because yeah, that's what I was trying to avoid. Okay, YouTube, we're not calling Hindus stupid. Okay, we're just like we're just reading someone else's comment. But yeah, sorry, YouTube is sensitive. But go on.
And then, so basically they're saying like, oh, only a few, goons make these kinds of threats and it makes international news. And then saying I can show thousands of cases where Hindu women were based on their religion by Muslims. I have no idea what that second.
Okay, I think the point is, and somebody else made the same point here. Okay, somebody else, Satya, saying this is not good and this is not about India. You can't judge India on the basis of one individual. Okay, so we're not. First of all, we're not judging the entirety of India. Obviously not. We're not even claiming that most people are like this person. We are not. Nobody is claiming that here. Okay, but these type of calls for violence is increasing significantly. Okay. If this increase from if it increases from if a few incidences to a lot more incidences, like nobody's claiming that this is the entirety, like this man represents the entirety of India. Nobody's claiming that, but this is a growing problem. It's an increasing worrying problem. You don't need all of India to think like this to be a huge issue. Radicalism growing in a country and being problematic, it needs a small percentage of people for it to turn into a growing movement, a growing dangerous movement that could be very damaging to the secularism and peace in India. Yeah.
I need to back up. One individual, okay, we're talking about what the actions of one individual, but this is by no means one individual. In the videos, you can see crowds of dozens of people cheering this man on. Are we just casually gonna forget like all the hate speeches in Hardavar, like all the I can't even, like, we're gonna talk about it later in the show, but like just how bad things are in Karnataka right now, like, oh my God, this is measurably an attitude that is observed and appreciated across the country, and we're talking about it. Like, this is not one individual. Like, oh my God, the gaslighting. Do you not pay attention to the news in India? Like, this is not it is fringe, but it's not like, holy crap, this came out of nowhere. Like, we've been building for this for years. Yeah.
No,
David Duke is just one individual.
Okay. Oh wait.
It's a symptom of a larger sickness. Jesus.
Yeah, AJ is saying Trump is just one individual. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so do you want to highlight any other comments before I bring up the next news?
No, I just would like to say that, Hinduism is the most peaceful religion. It's not. It's the most peaceful way of life. I don't know what people are talking about.
Yeah, it's a way of life, man. This is just peaceful. Susanna, your Abrahamic mindset just.
My Abrahamic mindset cannot see the wisdom of the dharma of calling for this kind of violence against women. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We just don't get it, guys. We just don't get it. Oh my! Oh wait, one last comment by Katie, and then we go.
These freaking dumbass.
Wait, there's a Katie comment I'm gonna highlight. Oh, here it is.
Katie is saying, to people saying this is just one individual, people are often electing such individuals to the effing government.
Very good point.
You have a good point, Katie. As per usual.
Okay, but PK is saying
this hate speech is not endorsed by most Hindus. Good point. But the viewpoint of the Muslims is a majority viewpoint. So you're saying the hate speech isn't endorsed, but the idea that Muslims are otherized is majority.
Yes. Yeah. So like even people who are not, even many people who are not for this level of extreme language, okay, they still might vote for BJP because they see that they are in favor of the otherization of Muslims and they want protection from them. So they will bring people such as this maybe to power, even though they themselves would not be calling out for violence or something like that. So that's what makes these individuals very dangerous.
Yeah. Oh, this
Okay,
is a good
and
topic.
just to be, yeah,
Go ahead.
no, I want to highlight another comment just to show you
Oh,
how bad the situation is.
Forever Stormy is saying a religion that flicks violence on its own lower castes would have inevitably or eventually turned on others. It was inevitable.
Okay, and here's a comment. Here's an interesting comment. Okay, so Hindutva Susanna in the live chat, the person who was telling us that we are exaggerating, and this is just one individual. Okay, so this is the person who was trying to tell us that we're exaggerating things. This is just one individual who was arrested. Okay, but she herself is showing that how common this viewpoint is, because she is saying Muslims won't let you be peaceful. Okay, so what happened all of a sudden to this being one individual? You yourself are saying that you are not going to be peaceful. You yourself are calling for violence. The person that was in the live chat trying to defend Hindutva by saying this person is one individual, well, apparently you're one of those individuals who are calling for violence. You're saying peace is not possible, right? And you do that with an argument by generalizing an entire identity of people, an entire group of people. You're saying Muslims won't. You're making a general comment about an entire group of people. And that's your excuse for advocating for violence. So you just expose yourself. You're just showing everybody that it is not just the individual that we just showed on the news. It's also people that are even currently in our live chat. And we're not a big channel. It's right here. But go on.
First of all, I would appreciate it if you don't call Hindutva Susanna she, because I can promise you this is a man. and it becomes a little bit uncomfortable for me. It seems like too much of a conflation of myself. I'm like, I don't like this at all. But second of all, Retard Skeptic is saying, that's just one individual, and that individual is me. Talk about a self-report.
Jesus Christ. Oh my god. All right, we should move on to the next news. And I see the next news is also Hindutva related. Again, should I clap for the next news?
We can clap because, I mean, we obviously really don't like it, but it's not nearly as bad as the last news.
Nobody died. Nobody was molested. Nobody was tortured.
Yeah.
Nobody died. Next news. All right. All right.
Her freaking show, man.
It's good
Next
news.
Okay. Atheist meetup postponed due to objections from Hindu-Nationalists. So obviously, this is in our best interest to cover. Recently, an atheist meetup scheduled to take place on April 10th in Maharashtra had to be postponed because of opposition from Hindutva groups. The conference was called the 7th Nashtik Melava 2022, or 7th Atheist Conference 2022, and was organized by the Shahid Bhagat Singh Vichar Manch. Nitin Hande, one of the event organizers, was informed by the police that, quote, organizing such an event on the day of Ram Navami festival, which is the festival that celebrates the birthday of Hindu god Lord Rama, may cause, quote unquote, law and order problems. Hande said that the police claimed that various unnamed organizations believed that, quote, the atheist conference is purposefully planned on Ram Navami for hurting the religious sentiments of the believers. Hande and his team, through a letter, requested the police to assist with the conference, explaining that it was a non-political program that does not aim to hurt anybody. However, the police claimed they had not received any complaint from the Hindu festival organizers. They still asked the Atheist Conference organizers to move the event to April 24th. Moreover, the police also demanded a list of the topics and scripts of the speeches to be given at the conference, although this was never required for the 6 previous meetings.
Okay, the first thing I have to comment on, I'm sorry, okay? Ram Navami. Every time you say Ram Navami, I tell you, like, I'm like, who's calling? It sounds so much like Armin Navabi. Ram Navami.
Wait.
Wait, you go. Right? Doesn't it? Yeah, Ram Navami. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Other than that, wait, what was their issue exactly? I was so distracted with you keep saying Ram Navami that I didn't.
I can't stand you. Okay, so there's kind of some conflicting messaging going on in this story, and it's very unclear. The police are kind of giving mixed messaging. So they're saying, like, okay, so the organizers of this atheist conference have been explicitly asked by the police to postpone their conference because the day that was chosen for it happens to be the day for celebration of the birthday of Lord Rama. And so they were saying that, well, there's mixed messaging, like I was saying. So in some reports, here's what. Okay, so I'll read a quote. Nitin Hande, one of the organizers of the event, said he was informed by the police that some Hindutva outfits had objected to the event, PTI reported. The police, however, did not name any outfit or person, he added. Quote, the police, said some organizations have claimed that the atheist conference is planned on Ram Navami for hurting the sentiments of the believers, Hande said, according to the Indian Express. Quote, police expressed fear of a law and order situation, meaning that's Indian jargon for an outbreak of violence. The organizers told the police that the event was an indoor program and did not intend to hurt anyone. Quote, it is meant for those who believe in the scientific approach, humanity, modernity, atheism, and the principles of our Constitution, Hande said. And then they were asked to postpone it. Then they said the police sent us a letter asking us to postpone the event, but did not mention the Ram Navami point. They mentioned in the letter that since organizers had not been given a clear outline of the script and the events, that they were requesting for them to postpone. So all of a sudden, even though they had previously told the police in advance when this is going to happen, reportedly gotten the approval for it, like all of a sudden the police are like, you're going to have to postpone, and also we need to see script. We need to know exactly what you're going to be talking about here.
Okay, Eric is saying in this whole Navami thing sounds like pronounced Naomi, not Navami, but I don't like Naomi. I like the one that's closer to my last name. So we're gonna continue calling it Navami. But here's an interesting thing. Comment by Katie.
Katie is saying, if having an atheist meet can disrupt law and order because it's on the same day as a Hindu festival, wonder what that says about the people on the side of the said festival.
Okay. And here is another interesting comment.
Akash Singh is saying, well, why not postpone Ram Navami?
Oh, you changed the pronunciation? Okay. But yes, you move your festival because of our atheist conference. We're not going to move the atheist conference. But
no,
hey, what?
It's so weird because the police are giving mixed messages, because then when approached by reporters, the police are like, we have not received any complaint from an outfit for, opposing the atheist conference. But other people are saying, oh, after this conference was announced and they saw how much backlash, they were getting for it online, then the police were like, you're going to have to move this. Yeah. And the police are just trying to say, oh, it's not about religion or atheism or whatever. It's because we don't have enough people to also man this big festival and this conference. We just don't, we're overbooked.
Couldn't they say that this is part of the festival because the Hindus keep telling us atheists that Hindu atheism, it has a part, like there's a section there's a part of Hinduism which accepts atheism. That's what we are told all the time. So we could say like this festival that's why the reason they picked this date. So why the hate, right?
Sir, you have a good point. I thought atheism was always a part of Hinduism. What's with this contention? You're going back on it now? What's with that?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Anyways, oh yeah, Eric is making the same point.
Wait,
Yes.
but what
Okay.
do you think about? Because so obviously this is very important to us and our community. Like, what do you
Mhm.
think about the implications for the Indian atheist community at large?
That we need to support them 100% because they are the only hope we have. We have like here's the thing, okay? In India, unfortunately, all the other forces against this, far right, ethno national, well, religious nationalism is, you know, some commies, some far left, which we don't endorse either, right? So I think the only hope for us is to just keep endorsing and keep promoting and keep, maybe try ways to reach out to atheists and secular groups in India because they are the people who should be at the front line at fighting for all of this, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and I think at some point right now, like the tensions is between the Hindus and Muslims, right? But I think at some point, atheism is going to enter the battle scene, right? And I think we need to
I think this
be.
was one of the first signs of it.
This is the first signs of it. You know how, for example, in Christian countries, the battle was most for many years was between Islam and Christianity, and atheism was not even shown under, like, wasn't even detected on the radar. But then eventually now both Christians and Muslims are directing a lot of their resources and attacks on atheists instead of on each other. So I think atheism is going to also soon become more and more, like it already has, but I think it's going to become more influential in India. Like, and I think you're going to notice both Muslims and Hindus in India starting to pay attention to it. And so we need to be ready. We need to be ready, and we need to be available for assistance if need be for anyone at the front lines. For our
Mm-hmm.
sisters, atheist brothers and sisters on the front line, we need to provide media coverage and support if we are able to. And actually, guys, please make sure that as much as you can help us grow our resources, so so that we can, as Atheist Republic, we can be available for assistance when that day comes, when those days comes, right? So again, if you want to support Atheist Republic, link to all our, so all the ways that you could support us is in the description. But do not support us financially if you're struggling. Please make sure you just like the video. If you can't support us financially, that helps. That very helps a lot. Okay, so just like the video if you can't support us
One
financially.
thing that I think is actually a very important aspect of this news is I was very surprised that this got such mainstream coverage. Like this happening to an atheist conference got mainstream coverage in the Scroll, in the Indian Express. So that was one thing about this that was very positive. I was really excited to see, this actually getting major media attention. Stormy is saying atheism is being driven underground in India. Unfortunately, I believe this is the case in many states. Like we have to take our communities in India off of our publicly facing web pages because of threats against our members and our administrators and leaders. Reminder, if you would like to join our groups, you can reach out to me at Susanna at atheistrepublic.com and I can help set you up because we do have to do extra screening, which is crazy. Like the level of screening we have to do for India is now comparable or worse than Pakistan.
Really?
Yeah. And we have the consulates for Pakistan publicly on our page, Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan, but not
Yeah.
India.
Amazing.
And that reminds me. So people might not be aware, but there's been an incident that I've become aware of where some Hindutva people infiltrated an Indian atheist Telegram channel where they were making jokes and just talking about atheism, posting their own religious memes, joking on Hinduism. And they've basically been doxxed and had FIRs and police reports filed against them. So they're being openly targeted for being atheist. And their blasphemy and all this stuff. So I am aware of this issue. I haven't had anyone who was affected by this reach out to me directly. But if they would like to reach out to me, I can see what we can do. You can email me at atheistrepublic@gmail. No, not at Gmail. Susanna at atheistrepublic.com. AGA put my email in this chat right here. So yeah, please reach out to me. I did see someone talking about this in our live chat during our last Q&A, but like that's just someone in the live chat. I need someone to actually start communication with me before I can actually maybe help out. So
All right. So can we clap for the next news?
yeah.
Okay. Next news.
Next news. Taliban bans the farming of opium poppies. On April 3rd, Haibutullah Akhundaza, the Taliban supreme leader, announced a ban on the cultivation of opium poppies. He also stated, quote, "If anyone breaks the decree, we will destroy the farm immediately and treat the lawbreaker according to Sharia law." The announcement also prohibits the trade of alcohol, hashish, and heroin. This banning was announced amidst a crippling economic conditions brought on by Western sanctions. According to the United Nations Office of Drug and Crime, Afghan opiates supply 8 out of 10 opiate users worldwide. Many farmers in Afghanistan were forced to swap legal crops for opium plants after years of war, drought, and financial sanctions. According to Al Jazeera, the ban on the cultivation of opium poppy and outlined the selling of heroin is a bid for international recognition. Following the announcement, Abdul Salam Hanafi, the acting deputy prime minister, requested international support in helping Afghan farmers reliant on opium production diversify their crops.
This is kind of based. I don't know what you think. Like Taliban, are we agreeing with Taliban right now? I don't know. I think this is
Okay. So I don't think it's that simple.
Yes.
Like, so in a vacuum where this just happened in isolation, I'd be like, oh, cool, great. I also would like there to be less opiate supply around the world. However, people in our live chat are having the same reaction I had. AJ is saying, are they stupid? And Baraj is saying, does Afghanistan want more poverty? So to me, that's what's shocking and surprising about this is if people know pretty much anything about Afghanistan, and particularly how the Taliban finances its operations, you know that this whole trade is it's very important to their economy. This is it. Yeah. Wait. They make this is like over $1 billion. This is like $1.6 to $1.8 billion per year.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Okay. But that's what you know about Afghanistan. But if anybody also knows anything about the Taliban, is that they banned this whole thing before when they were in power as well. Okay.
Yes, they did.
They did. So this is like, I don't know why people are surprised. When Taliban was in power before, they banned it, and now they're back in power and they're banning it again. So, I mean, the Taliban doesn't mess around. They're like, okay, so when they think this is wrong, they're like, you know, the priority for them is to ban whatever is wrong, regardless of the consequences. Okay, but okay, so maybe their reasoning because I'm a consequentialist, right? I don't think something should be banned regardless of the consequences. Okay, so maybe I don't agree with the Taliban because I care about the consequences more than just banning something based on its principle. But I do think the consequences of opium is higher than the negative consequences is higher than the money that it brings in. So I think this is a net positive. I do understand that this is going to make Afghanistan more poor and people are going to suffer because of it. Afghanistan needs money, like it really needs money right now. Okay. And banning opium is going to make situations in Afghanistan a lot more desperate. Okay. And that is the negative side of it. But on average, the negative impact to the entire planet of opium, the benefit is way less than the positive. You know what I mean? Yeah, the positive is more money to Afghanistan. The negative is more poverty, you know, and lives ruined. I think more lives will be ruined from opium being allowed than the lives that in Afghanistan is going to be ruined because of the money not going in on average. That on average, this is a net positive.
Yeah, it will so this will maybe put a dent in it, and it won't happen overnight, right? But for the people who continue to work in this trade, it'll just get more dangerous, and it'll get increasingly more dangerous for the users globally, because there will be a continued demand, but there will be more scarcity. So people will start going to other means as well. They'll start maybe going to fentanyl or something, especially in North America, which is a huge problem.
Yeah, but
I think
less of this being available means less people will have access to whatever harmful drugs there is.
They'll go to other things which are more available, like fentanyl, which is worse.
Yeah, but this is a demand supply thing. Yes, more people will go to the next thing. Okay, but because of less supply, prices of everything will increase, and less people will be able to get access to. Yes, I'm not saying there will not be an alternative. I'm just saying this is.
I'm not trying to sound like I'm pro opium trade, by the way. I'm not pro illegal drug trade. I'm just trying to.
I'm just saying,
elucidate some of the issues surrounding this.
I'm just saying, even with the examples that you give, that some people will find other things. The net effect on average is when you reduce supply, less people will be able to. Less lives will be ruined on average. Okay, this is just how the market works. You supply it less, there will be less.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So.
What I find really interesting is, the deputy prime minister calling for the international community to try to help Afghan farmers find a way to diversify their crops. Like, U.S. and NATO forces have been trying to do that for decades. They tried to do that for decades. It didn't work. It hasn't worked very well.
When the Taliban did it, okay, yeah, but when the Taliban did it, it worked. For some reason, when the Taliban bans something, it gets banned. Okay,
I wonder why.
When NATO tries to stop it, they can't do it because they don't go through the extreme measures that the Taliban goes through.
Freaking pansies! No.
So yes, you're right. NATO failed, but when 20 years ago, when the Taliban was like no opium trade, they were like, yeah, but it stopped. Like you could see the graph, like you can see the supply just like plummeted. Okay, so they know how to do it. The Taliban, they're good at banning stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be really interesting to see how this plays out, because like you said, it. Katie's saying, they have ban in their name. It got Taliban.
Yeah, Eric was saying the same thing.
Yeah. It is nothing if not consistent. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, as well as how they try to diversify their crops, because when U.S. NATO forces tried to do this, it just dramatically failed, partially just because of so much corruption, and they would just kind of reuse supplies and sell things around so that they could just continue their poppy farming at an even greater scale. Hopefully they start growing wheat and grains, because the world needs more wheat and grain producers after everything going on in Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah, that's going to be 1/100th of the, price.
It's better than nothing.
Yes. Anyways,
Afghanistan also really, really, really needs to be less reliant on food imports. Like, I think 43% of their GDP was from foreign aid. Like, that's wild. Like,
wait, D is saying
getting high on Allah. It's halal.
Wait, there was another thing D was saying about the Quran and getting high. Oh, by the way, YouTube, we're not encouraging any drug use, of course. We're just covering the news. We're covering the news, okay? This is not an endorsement of using any illegal substances, okay? Follow the law. What is D saying?
D is saying, according to the Quran, the fruits like grape, date, fig, olive, and pomegranate are gifts and heavenly fruits of God. No opium.
Okay.
So get high off of those.
Yeah, but technically there is nothing that says opium is haram in the Quran as well. So I don't know where they get that from. I think they do it by the spirit of the law. You know what I mean? Maybe they say like, why would Islam ban like wine, right? So, for example, Islam doesn't ever say that alcohol is haram. It says wine is illegal, right? So people said like, why would wine be illegal? It must be because you get drunk. Therefore, it should apply to all alcoholic drinks, not just wine. So I
Mm.
think like if you maybe the reasoning is that if you extend that, then you should basically ban anything substance that alters your mind, including opium. Maybe,
And they've
I don't
tried
know.
to do the same for tobacco because of also hadiths about,
No.
doing things that are harmful to your body. And
Mhm.
they tried this in Morocco like a couple centuries ago, and it literally almost led to them overthrowing the king. Like, you're
Oh.
gonna give us a freaking nicotine, bro.
Okay. All right. Can we clap for the next news?
Yes.
Next news.
Next news. British teacher suspended for using mug with image of the Prophet Muhammad. An unnamed teacher from Colchester Royal Grammar School in Essex was suspended over a mug depicting an image of the Prophet Muhammad. The picture on the mug features an image from the weekly comic strip Jesus and Mo, which deals in humorous and poignant religious satire. The school, after being notified, promised to take robust action. The Atheist Republic news team spoke to the creator of the Jesus and Mo comic, who goes by the pseudonym Mo Jones. Mo Jones expressed his criticism of the action taken against the teacher, stating, quote, "I do not think this suspension was fair or proportionate given what is publicly known about the case. And we should not be encouraging or respecting religious taboos held by a few fanatics," he added. The Daily Mail also reported that the image was taken weeks prior and then circulated online, at which point it picked up viral outrage. The school is reacting with the suspension because of the quote unquote growing concern from students. Scarlett Mansfield, a former student who claimed that Colchester Royal Grammar School is plagued by sexist behavior, said, quote, "Everyone has known for ages that this teacher is completely like that." Whatever that's supposed to mean.
Like what? What does this got to do with sexism? I don't know what's going on.
Well, apparently, this is a student who became known for writing this very infamous blog post calling out the school's like rampant sexism and RAPE culture or something. And so they asked her for comment, and she's like, "Oh yeah, everyone knows he's just like that." I guess supposed to mean like insensitive or
Well, I have the
yeah.
cartoon that he had on the mug. Should I show that?
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah, you found it. You sent it to me. Oh, you sent on the Google Drive. So this is literally what he had on the mug. This is it.
So, well, if you zoom in, it's not the Jesus and Mo part, it's what they're saying to each other. So can you zoom in so we can read what they're saying? It's the most mild thing in the world. It's literally Jesus saying, "Hey," and Prophet Muhammad saying, "How you doing?"
What's the issue? I don't get it.
Like,
What's
this
the
is the
problem?
thing. It's not even like I can understand like more outrage if it was Charlie Hebdo because the actual portrayal of those images like are purposefully exaggerated and stereotypical, and people find like beyond the fact that Muhammad is being depicted, they find the way he's depicted to be like racist. Here it's literally just Jesus and Muhammad saying hi and how are you doing.
But first of all, Charlie Hebdo is not racist. Okay, it depicts
No, I'm
the
saying, but
Pope
people
and
find it that way.
okay. But seriously, I'm trying to I am actually holding back right now. You're telling me this is the only thing the man had on the mug, and this
Reportedly.
and this is what caused the outrage.
Yes.
He is just saying hey, and Jesus is saying hey, and Muhammad saying how you do. Okay, for people who are listening to this on the podcast and not watching this on our video, okay, it's just literally just Jesus and Muhammad just standing there. Okay, there's nothing happening. They're not doing anything insulting. They're just saying hi to each other. Okay, there's literally nothing else. I'm not like okay. This is where we are okay. This is you should send them our cartoons. This is what people are getting offended by now. And this is in the UK. What the
Yeah,
hell is
yeah, yeah, yeah,
happening?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay, this is
Well,
outrageous.
what do you? Okay, so when I was thinking about this, my initial reaction is to be like, this is outrageous because this is an issue that I'm very sensitive about, and obviously the way that this issue has been dealt with consistently in England for the past several years has been in a way that we find wholly unacceptable. Including there was a situation that happened, I believe, last year with a teacher. I think it was very similar with what happened to Samuel Paty, who was beheaded in Paris, where he was talking about depictions or trying to educate. I can't remember exactly, but basically, there is a teacher in England who got in trouble for depictions of the prophet. I can't remember exactly in what capacity, and that teacher is still in hiding to this day. Like,
I can't.
that's how bad
Okay.
things are in England right now. So my
Let me
initial
say.
reaction is to be outraged and take, but then I thought, should teachers like have this in the classroom? Like, apparently this has been very normal for him to have in the classroom. Like, when I was able to find the cartoon, or what is reportedly the cartoon, I was outraged again. But initially I was like, well, maybe they're more consistent about it. Maybe if it was an offensive portrayal, quote unquote, offensive portrayal of Jesus, they would take a similar action. Except then I realized that the cartoon literally features Jesus. Right. So it is literally about just depicting the prophet in the school setting. What do you think about that?
Okay. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, disgusting, and absurd that Europe, after teachers being beheaded for cartoons, that the entirety of Europe is not standing unanimously strong behind its teachers and in defense of free speech and free expression. The fact that instead of that being the reaction, they have turned on the teachers instead, turned against them, and like this should have become something of an outcry for everybody to be like, we are on the side of teachers and we defend their free speech. This should have been a battle cry in the entirety of Europe, and we're getting news like this instead. This is ridiculous. This is shameful. Like, these people should be embarrassed, and this is the United effing Kingdom. This is where we got this, and France is where we got the ideas of freedom of speech and freedom of expression. What is happening? What is happening? This is like, is this like upside down world? Like, if this is what's happening in UK, like these are countries that are supposed to be the role model for other countries to look up to be defending freedom of expression. And this is what we get? I don't understand.
What if there are people who are like, oh, this isn't about freedom of expression. It's about creating a classroom environment in which students feel safe and respected.
You mean pussies? Like creating generations of snowflakes? Is that what you want to make? Okay, I mean, if that's what you want.
I was not expecting that. Oh my god.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I kind of understand an argument that where it's like, this is about just making sure that children feel like they're not being singled out for their background.
I don't know. I can. If you are offended by something like that, just keep, do homeschooling or something. The entire school shouldn't be like tiptoeing around your kids or not the kids. Actually, it's a
I don't think that's a good idea though, because the homeschooling in the UK has led to a lot of radicalization problems.
True. Well, just toughen. Just like you just have to take it. Okay, your kids have to take it. Okay, just tell them.
I don't think that's a compelling argument for her parents. That's not gonna.
Well, what are you gonna do? School is mandatory, and making homeschooling illegal like France, and school is mandatory. So yeah, this is how it is. Okay.
If there was some consistency in the policy, I wouldn't find this as egregious.
I don't think the school should be just like.
But it is like, clearly just pandering to Islamic fundamentalism.
Okay, as an atheist, okay, who went to school, constantly being exposed to Islam for all my goddamn life in an Islamic country, okay, I'm gonna tell you that this is nothing, okay, right? I, as an atheist, as a teenager in school, while I was an atheist, had to read the Quran, had to listen to the goddamn Azan, had to listen to the Islamic recitation every morning. I had to do Quran exams. I had to learn Arabic. I had to do all of that. Okay, and I was annoyed. Okay, I was annoyed, but I wasn't psychologically destroyed. Okay, I ended up surviving. I came out of that alive. Okay. So I think, like, given that me as an atheist and as ex-Muslim, as somebody who hates religion, had to go through 12 years of that, right, and came out of it alive, I don't think your kid is going to, I think your kid will be able to handle a cartoon of Muhammad and Jesus saying hi to each other, okay?
What's funny is that, you guys can read more about what the Atheist Republic news team actually, the conversation we had with the creator of this comic on our website. The link is in the description if you want to read the full article. And basically he was saying, it's kind of funny to him that they have such a problem with the portrayal of Muhammad, because in his weekly comics, like, Jesus is more often portrayed as like the mean, more dislikable, like, slave owning guy, and Muhammad is kind of like more like portrayed as like nicer and sweeter. And so he just thought it was funny that they like had such outrage over this. Wait, I just thought this was funny. Well, Stormy is saying the teacher should sue and seek damages. There's nothing in this cartoon. We'll see how much further action will be taken against him. It seems to not be reached its completion. And Lily Frau on Facebook is saying the Shahada in our live chat. And in response to saying freedom of...
No, bring it back just for reference. Susanna is at the level of being able to recognize the Shahadat, even if it's written in Arabic. So that's where Susanna is at. That's good. Okay, good.
That's right. And then in response to you talking about freedom of expression, Lily said, freedom of respect too, dear. We have to respect all religions. Islam is a peaceful religion, and we respect all religions.
This is a troll. Stop highlighting her. This is not a real thing. They're trying to trigger you. This is a troll account.
It's not working. I just find it hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, this is in response to what you were saying about your education. Good comment, Katie. Katie is saying, as an ex-Hindu atheist, I was forced to give donations to Hindu pujas, which are like little festivals or shrines, in my college and hostel. Also tried to force me to take part in organizing the pujas, but I was firm on that.
Okay, yeah. That's great.
And also, what is freedom of respect?
Freedom of respect? I don't know. I think they're just making stuff up.
And then I like Jay's like, Katie, did they at least serve tasty food?
I mean, it's India. They always feed tasty food, right? Indian food is Indian food only this good outside of India, or is it consistently as good inside India as well?
I don't know. I've never been to India, and our lawyers say we can't go, so I won't find out.
Oh.
God damn.
Damn. Okay. Oh my God. Qasim is like swearing at Muhammad in Arabic. I'm not. It's Arabic. It's a mix of Arabic and Persian. It's very nasty.
That's how you know it's serious. I gotta cuss you out in 2 languages.
Yeah. Oh, PK is saying it is the best. So we're getting a report from India that the food in India is really good. Okay. Oh, and Oxymoron is saying that he was made to stand at assemblies too. Yeah. I was actually one time made to made to go pray with a giant stick. Like that was insane. Like somebody with a
What did they
giant
do with the
stick was
stick?
they was standing behind us, because when you're standing like as a Shias, when you're standing in prayer, your hand's supposed to be down, right? But we as kids are so impatient, like we hold our hands together behind our back because we can't just stand still. And this man with a giant stick would come every time we put our hands together behind us. He would just hit our hands with that giant stick,
God.
so that we put the in the middle of the prayer. I don't think that is Islamically allowed. I don't think you can hit somebody with a stick while they're in the middle of a prayer. I think that was not very Islamic. I'm not
Yeah, how are you supposed to be deepening your connection to Allah when you're
I
like,
think I
stop
think
hitting me?
I think his understanding is that if we're holding our hand, we're technically not paying attention to our prayers like that. Like if we're just like
Holy
holding our hands.
moly. Too
Yeah, I'm
much.
not
That's
sure.
too much.
Yeah, and that was elementary school. I think like I don't even know why I didn't report that to my parents, because I think they would have been like, "Why are you hitting my kid with a stick?" Yeah, I didn't. I don't know why so many things we didn't tell our parents about. Anyways, uh,
Well, because you're a
okay.
child and you're like, I guess this is what people do. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. So many things I realized that they did to us that if I told my parents, they would have been outraged, and we just never bothered to tell our parents. Oh,
It's
hey,
so easy
Lasem.
to indoctrinate and abuse kids. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, true. Okay, can we clap for the next news?
Yes.
Next news. Back to India.
Next news, Indian state to use blockchain technology to issue caste certificates. This is very interesting. Gadchiroli, a little village in the state of Maharashtra, one of India's most industrialized states, plans to use the Polygon blockchain to issue caste certificates to 1.1 million Tapali and Bahangragad village residents. Indian Times called it the quote next big thing in the crypto world. A decentralized blockchain digital platform provider, LegitDoc, will be used to implement this project. Neil Martis, the co-founder of LegitDoc, said 70% of people in the Gachi shoot, these names are hard. Gadchiroli district are tribal, which means most of them require a caste certificate, adding that the blockchain-based caste certificates will allow the government to distribute assistance efficiently. Caste certificates are often required to receive access to different government-funded programs intended to benefit and support various disadvantaged communities. Shubham Gupta, the assistant collector of Gadchiroli, stated these digital certificates would ease the government's administrative burden. Martis explained that the Polygon blockchain has the infrastructure required for connecting, quote, a document issuer, a document holder, and document verifiers. These three elements are necessary for the verification of digital caste certificates.
Okay, I'm not sure if this is a good thing or a horrible thing. First of all,
So
I like that. I kind of like. Oh, go on. You go ahead.
I had the initial reaction because people are like obviously very sensitive about caste and documentation of it and having to prove it and all this stuff. I think so. I had a knee-jerk reaction where I was against it, but then when I realized the intention of it, it's well established that there's various different quote-unquote reservation systems in India, and these are a lot of different government programs and subsidies that people can get if they are members of a lower caste, certain lower castes, if you're from a tribal community. And it's basically supposed to be an effort to redress like really deeply entrenched social inequalities. So to help avail them of more means to provide for themselves and to lift themselves from those conditions. But to be able to get those, be eligible for those programs, you actually have to be able to prove that you're from these communities. So this is the whole spirit of it. And the idea is that right now, being able to verify these things is incredibly administratively intensive because things are usually done hard copy and it just requires so much work and it's not very efficient. And people aren't actually able to, because of this administrative burden, maybe have as much access to these programs as they should. So this aims to alleviate some of that burden and make the whole process better for the people who are supposed to benefit from it.
Yeah, so I think for non-Indians, this title, just reading the title and not reading the news, makes the news sound horrible, right? Because you think like the caste system is being endorsed by the Polygon blockchain, right?
That was my
Like, what the
initial
hell?
reaction too.
Like, yeah, but the problem is that just the title by itself really makes it sound like that, right? You're like, what the hell? I mean, especially I love the Polygon blockchain. Okay, among all blockchains, that's I think my number one favorite blockchain. And the fact that the Polygon blockchain is based in India, based on Indian entrepreneurship, makes me love it even
Exactly.
more. That's why we had the Kali NFTs. We minted those on the Polygon blockchain for that same reason, right? And I was like, just reading the title, like, why Polygon? Why are you doing this? Why are you endorsing the caste system? But then when you read the news, you realize, oh, never mind. Basically, you need this. Okay, so we don't endorse the caste system, but the caste system has been used to discriminate against lower caste and outcasts, right? And this is a system that is trying to undo a harm by identifying the people who have been harmed, right? And this makes the process a lot easier by using the blockchain technology to give them certificates, right? So it's good because it's on the blockchain, is immutable, is transparent, nobody could screw with it. It makes it makes it nobody can take that identity away from you once it's on the blockchain. So that's fantastic, right? This is like we're seeing use cases for the blockchain. But again, I wish there was an easier way, because most people read the title and then they don't read the news. And I can tell you, like, the way this was discussed in even the crypto world, that usually tries to show everything is a positive, spin everything as more of a positive as a negative. They spin this as a negative. They were like, "Oh my god, this is
Really? Because you
problematic."
pay
Yeah.
really close attention to that kind of media realm. Tell us more about how that was reflected there.
No, like even YouTube channels that cover blockchain news with a positive spin, even sometimes negative stuff, they kind of twist it to make it seem like it's more positive. They just looked at this and just they were like, "Oh my god, this is like problematic. This is like not good." Right? Because why are they getting involved in endorsing the caste system, right? So yeah, I guess they just read the title and they didn't read the rest of it, right? But anyways, like
It
India,
definitely requires some knowledge of the systems of like economic and socioeconomic redress that India has established to kind of understand what is the purpose of this. Because yeah, it doesn't just, I'm like, oh my god, I thought casteism is banned, or the caste system is supposed to be abolished. Like, what is this? Are you bringing it back? And this is what's kind of a more complicated discussion of the whole reservation system at large. Like Katie is saying, there are upper caste Hindus who blame the existence of the caste system on Hinduism, or on reservations, excuse me. So it's kind of this contention of, oh, does upholding this reservation system, does having this reservation system to help uplift lower caste and tribal people actually maintain their difference? But that does it actually uphold this system? Is it upholding these differences in designations and stratification? But that's a much larger conversation about the entire system at large.
We have a similar discussion in your country, Susanna, regarding people who are race abolitionists, but they also claim racism,
Want reparations.
right? Want reparations and talk about racism. And people outside of that discussion, they were like, wait a minute, how come you all say race is just a social construct, but yet people accuse people of racism, and you also want to use race as a way to right some wrongs, right? Well,
it's not even that they just talk about racism. It's that oftentimes people who have this lens, not even have this lens, like have that position or desire or passion, the stereotype is that they see everything through the lens of race.
Okay, well, yeah, that's like the crazy radicals, but the more sensible ones would say, right? Well, like not people that take things to extreme, but some of the more sensible ones will say, like, okay, yes, this is a social construct, but because the social construct and we want it to be removed, but because it exists, we need to use it as a way to identify who has been wronged. You know what I mean? So that's what they would say, right? So, for example, if you look at Israel, for example, the way that Israel wanted to define who's a Jew and who's not a Jew to give them Israeli citizenship was based on how the then I don't know how to say the Yazis. I'm not going to say their actual name because YouTube is sensitive about that. Okay, they based it on how the Yazis defined who's a Jew, right? So basically, the argument was, well, if you're Jew enough to be for them to be discriminated against, you're Jew enough for you to deserve the protection of an Israeli citizenship of being in a country, right? So yeah, you don't like the definitions that they came up with, you don't, but you use their definition because that's how you find out who has been wronged. That's the philosophy behind it, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Katie is saying, while I agree the reservation system has its cons and needs some change, lower caste people have been refused jobs and promotions just because of their caste in both India and abroad. So there are a lot of criticisms of the system, but many people still acknowledge that there are issues that need to be addressed in some way. And Forever Stormy is saying that area is so poor they can barely afford a modern smartphone. To force a blockchain issued certificate on them is crazy. Plus, a lot of these companies are usually close to the politicians, so it's really about shoveling tax cash to their cronies. Now, I don't know how much is true about that second part. The articles that I've read about this did clarify that there will still be hard copy versions of these certificates for these people. Like, they're not going to stop using paper altogether. It's just for the verification part that is such an administrative burden. This system will basically, it inherently provides this three-pronged infrastructure that they need.
Right.
And so it's just about making it more efficient and bringing it to scale.
So I don't think Stormy, I don't think the people themselves need to have the phone. The whole idea is that this is stored somewhere, and because it's stored, and because this data is not very, these are not big files. They're not like big pictures, right? So it's easy to store data like this on a blockchain with a very low cost, right? And the idea is like the management of the information is being done on a blockchain, not that if you don't have a phone now you don't have access to it, right? I mean, the idea is that because it's on a blockchain, it's nobody could like screw with it, and it's transparent, and it's available to everybody to access if they need to. So, and because of the transparency of it, it removes corruption, and because of the immutability of it, it makes it hard to it makes it more secure for the people to know that once they have this certificate, nobody can take it away from them. Like if anybody wants to mess with it, it's transparently available for everybody to see what's happening, right? Anybody anywhere could basically be able to see exactly. It removes corruption. It makes like behind the scene messing with things very, very difficult, right? And because and also because the blockchain is trustless, the level of bureaucracy will come down, like the level of management will be reduced, and it might actually save taxpayer rather than increasing tax, rather than increasing expenses. It might actually reduce it. Yeah. Oh, Stormy is saying thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, and the articles that I've seen provided examples of what this would look like in practice, and basically the people, when they're given a hard copy of paper of their certificate, includes a QR code, and the QR code then gives you all the blockchain information. I thought this was very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it, and also it might actually not cost the government anything, because a lot of these blockchains are very eager to show the use cases of their blockchain. So they might like provide a lot of support to the government just because of the advertising of their blockchain just so that people could see, like, oh my god, this is so amazing. I don't know actually if that's true or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of support behind it. Okay. Wow, what the hell is this next news? This looks weird. What am I
No, it
looking
gets
at?
weird. It is weird.
Okay. Can I clap for this? I don't. This is doesn't look clappable.
Like, let's not. I don't know.
Let's not. Okay, let's not clap. All right. What the hell is this? What? Okay. Next, next news.
Next news. Indian journalist forced to strip for criticizing Hindu-nationalist leader. On April 2nd, the local police in Madhya Pradesh, eight men, including a journalist and a prominent theater artist, were arrested, beaten, stripped, and photographed. According to NDTV, the incident happened when Kanishka Tiwari, a local journalist and YouTuber, tried to give coverage of the protest against the arrest of a local theater artist, Nehraj Kunder. Tiwari was arrested along with his cameraman and was interrogated by the police. The reason for their arrest was their negative coverage of the local BJP member of the Legislative Assembly, Kedarnath Shukla. Kundar was accused by the politician of creating a fake Facebook account and posting quote-unquote abusive posts against him and his son. Majjol Soni, station house office for the Kotawali police, explained, "We keep them in jail this way," meaning stripped, so that they cannot, I can't say this word on YouTube, so self-delete, so that they cannot commit self-deletion using their clothes. However, Mukesh Shrivastava, the police superintendent of Madhya Pradesh, said the incident is being investigated and that, quote, "such action is not acceptable." Yeah,
I don't think these journalists.
Everyone was angry with this incident.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like these journalists was in danger of self-deletion. I don't think they were.
And even if they were, and even if this was standard practice, even if we grant that, how did this come to be photographed and circulated online?
Oh my god, yeah, you're right. I think the intentions are clear. Like, read what the comment that I highlighted.
Captain Nadar is saying, yes, the standard arresting procedure. Strip them just to embarrass any of the accused. Exactly.
Yes, so I think it might be that they do this to embarrass them, but then they say it's because of their protection.
Yeah, obviously. This is about humiliation, and it's like a blatant violation of their human rights, not only just as journalists and what this means for the freedom of free press, but also just prisoner rights.
Yeah. So
Ghost Bunny saying, "Oh no, they said mean things about me. My feelings are hurt."
No, not my feelings. My what is that? My feelings. My feelings were hurt like that. Okay, that's insane. What? It's India, like, is this normal? Katie was saying this is normal. I thought this is like an outrageous, like, is small what individual, like, is this like common in India to do this? Oh yes, okay, look at this. So, read this. Eric is answering.
Eric is saying the Indian police do this on a regular basis. This is their standard operating procedure. Don't be surprised. So I think people are surprised to see it so in their face and put on the internet and viral in this way. But I mean, like, the Indian police are infamous for being severely abusive. Severely abusive.
I think the reason why this gets more attention is the combination of the fact how ridiculous this method is, plus what the crime is supposed to be. The crime is that they just said they covered a nationalist leader in not a good way. So it's just like multiple layers of outrageous and ridiculousness together made this such a big deal, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was just so brazen and blatant. Like this caused huge outrage. I mean, the Indian police are well known for, yeah, sexually humiliating anyone, freaking anyone, and this is one of their methods to do so, and also just like murdering people in custody.
Okay, well, that was crazy. All right.
That's the end of your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, do you have anything else? It's obviously like insane. I don't know what else to add to that. Do you have anything to add to that?
I think, yeah. So the journalist, Mr. Tiwari, this is a quote, claimed, wait, no, it was another person who was there who said they threatened to parade us naked in the city if we run the story. The police made the post viral. This is a violation of our human rights. So this person who was involved in this is saying not only did they do this to us to humiliate us, they were threatening us with actually taking us into the street and doing this publicly, like a shame parade. Specifically, if it as a threat, if they go and publish the story. So blatant state interference in the free press.
Yeah. Secular democracy might. Okay, I can't swear right now. You know what I was going to say. All right. Can we move on and clap for the... Oh, just read this comment by PK and then we can move on.
PK is saying, Indian police learned well from the British Raj. Their entire role is to put down the public.
All right. Let's clap for the... Oh, and Oxymoron is responding to that. Let's read that as well.
Oxymoron is responding and saying, PK, not really. Just because something makes the news doesn't make it worse. U.S. cops kill like 9,000 people. It just doesn't get pressed because U.S. has high face-saving culture. What?
I think U.S. police doesn't have a very good reputation. I don't know what you're talking about. I think a lot of people are... U.S. police gets very much criticized for being trigger happy all the time, all over the media. I don't know what world you live in, but that's the world we live in right now.
I also don't interpret the U.S. as having a high face-saving culture. I mean, I can see it in some respects, but in general, like we are the...
Wait, did Susanna get muted from... Wait, you got cut. You got cut, Susie. You're back now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Oh, okay. Basically, I was just saying I am skeptical to the amount the U.S. has face-saving culture, particularly because we are some of the most self-critical, openly, publicly, scathingly that I'm aware of.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, Yeah, you're right. Wait, what the hell? You're right. Actually, when we think
from our own, like not even just the public, like our own politicians will go after and dog our own institutions.
Yes, and when it comes to face saving, we usually think Asia. We don't think US. And actually, we think Japan, right? We think like the Middle East. We think, we don't think we don't think United States. It's actually, if anything, overly, like we think like maybe some Western countries are overly critical. They're rather than and actually, Katie,
the point of being self-flagellating.
Yes, exactly. They're like United States is a country that has so many of its citizens think that everything that goes wrong in the world is because of them. Some country has a problem. It must be because we did it. It must be United States. We must have. It was our fault again. Like that's how bad it is. But anyways, Katie is
saying U.S. cops are the most covered cops in the media. What the F? WTH? Indian cops have on occasions R-worded accused people to death. I mean, let's be clear. There's severe abuse that happens in U.S. prisons and policing systems. Like that same thing happens in the US as well. I just think that there's more coverage and it's like not normalized. Like I remember talking to Katie about how like police brutality is just like normalized in India. Like it doesn't even make the news. Rarely. I don't know. And I'm not saying that the US doesn't have any face-saving culture. I think every culture does to some degree. I just think it's exhibited more in maybe our foreign policy. trying to cover our ass.
Okay. We're saying ass now on YouTube. Is that okay? Okay.
Saving
We don't
our
know what.
ass, baby.
Okay. All right, we do need to move.
It's
to the
okay
next
if I say an ass with 2 Z's.
Okay, can we clap for the next news?
We're gonna clap not because this is good news, but because this is a very interesting and important thing to cover.
And nobody died. Next news.
Yeah. Next news. Indian boycott of Muslims. Sculptors, mango sellers, and cab drivers targeted. In India. Across the Indian state of Karnataka, Muslim businesses have been facing increasing anti-Muslim sentiments caused by contentious political rhetoric. This is the same state which made international headlines over the controversy of banning the hijab in government-run schools and is seen by many as an experiment in the open marginalization of the Muslim population. In April, a right-wing Hindu group urged the public to boycott Muslim mango traders, claiming that the Muslims supposedly monopolize the mango trade in Karnataka. A call to ban Muslim sculptors from sculpting Hindu idols is also gaining traction. This is a hard name. Sthatonic Srinivasan of the Cheluvanaraya Swami Temple in Melukote said he would campaign across Karnataka to ban Muslim sculptors. Quote, the idols of Hindu gods sculpted by Muslim artists can't be installed in the Hindu temples. It is against the traditions, he said. In Bangalore, Karnataka's capital, calls to boycott Muslim cab drivers and tour operators are rising. A far-right Hindu group, Bharatra Rakshana Vedike, or BRV, leads the campaign. According to Bharat Shetty, president of the BRV, dealing with Muslim businesses disrespects Hindu culture and traditions. Quote, they call us kafirs, and just as their religion is important to them, ours is to us, Shetty said. Saroj Chadha of the Times of India speculates that the hijab row has opened a Pandora's box of increasing pressure against Muslims, including Muslim businesses.
With the sculpt, the idol one, the Muslims making idol one, this is just Hindus helping Muslims also follow their religion. I mean, Muslims are not supposed to make Hindu idols. I don't know what the hell is happening there. So I think maybe so I don't know. In Islam, you're not allowed to make statues. You know that? You're not allowed to make any figurines of any kind, let alone pagan idols.
Or is that just the hardcore Salafis who believe that?
Well, the hardcore Salafis are the more accurate ones. So, they are the most accurate Islam. But okay, so maybe the hardcore Salafis will say do not make an image of anything, okay? But the idea of not making idols for Hindus, that is everybody. I mean, that is not everybody, apparently, because some people in India are making I want to meet the Muslims who are making idols for that's kind of base, actually. You know what? I'm doing I can't. This is the most haram thing you can do. Hey, this is business. These people need their idols. I'm gonna make their idols. Can you imagine? I don't know if you can comprehend how big of how much of a haram this is. I kind of like it. This is really.
I think
this is very taboo.
It is taboo, but I think people don't understand how much there is. I don't know if cohesion is the right word. Almost an interplay between Hinduism and Islam, or the communities of them in the subcontinent. I remember in the past year, I've read multiple stories about Hindus who do the Islamic calligraphy on, Islamic temples in Bangladesh, or Muslim sculptors who make Hindu idols, or that they build their temples, and
This is
a Muslim florist who provides the garlands every day for the statues of Ambedkar. Like
I love it. This is them coming, Hindus and
exactly
Muslims
like
coming together. Why are you ruining?
this is
This is
actually
beautiful.
what the reality of India is. There aren't
Yeah.
really historically like strict barriers in this way. Like this
So they're
effort
coming
to
together.
create
So
this
this means
strict segregation is so antithetical to what the actual lives of people have been like for generations. This is like
so you're saying
it seems antithetical to what India really is to me.
yeah. So you're saying Hindus and Muslims in India are so much the same people that even religion sometimes fails to spread them apart, to keep them away from each other, right?
Yeah.
So this Hinduism and Islam is just some made up nonsense that the people that are with, from all accounts, just the same people, they sometimes they realize that we're just the same people, and they just want to work with each other and just want to live with each other, and they want to
Mm-hmm.
provide services to each other. And then these radicals come and say, like, just ruin it for everybody, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, if
Yeah.
I'm reading articles about how there are Hindus doing the paintings and calligraphy on, on Hindus doing this on mosques in Bangladesh, like this isn't as it isn't everyone's experience that these are as diametrically opposed as people would like their fellow populace to believe.
Right.
I think
Wait,
there's something
what?
else really
Say that
important.
again?
So there's just so many, like what all these examples I was talking about. Granted, they are anecdotes, but it just goes to show that these communities are not as diametrically opposed as other
Right.
people would like them to believe.
But okay, but I also just like the idea of a Muslim making a Hindu idol. I don't know why I like about it. It's just so blasphemous. Like, to me, that is the most
Yeah.
blasphemous thing a Muslim can do, right? Like, you're not like you're making an okay. So the entire genesis of Islamic story, like in the Quran, or in the or in Sunnah, you can see that it's either the story of Abraham being against the idols, right? Or Muhammad being against the idols, right? Like, being anti the idols of Quraysh is the most fundamental part of Muhammad's ideology, right? Like, there's nothing like idol worship is the most taboo, most disgusting, most sinful thing anybody could do. And just endorsing anything idol related, like, there's nothing in Islam. Like, okay, the most sinful thing in Islam is shirk, right? Having partners to God. And the most obvious and the boldest symbol of shirk is an idol. So for a Muslim to make an idol for idol worshippers to worship is the most blasphemous thing I've ever heard of. And that's why I love it. And that's why I don't want anybody to stop this. Why are you doing this? Is beautiful. Let them make you. They're making you idols. Let them make you idols. What's wrong with you? Okay, anyways.
They are also trying to help these Muslims, okay, really observe Tawheed correctly, okay? The Sirat al-Mustaqim, we're helping you, okay?
Yeah. Okay, well, do you have some start comments? Do you want to highlight those?
Yeah. So Forever Stormy is saying these are not fanatic Muslims. They just want to earn a living. Most of them are really poor. Obviously, they're not fanatics if they're engaging in this kind of behavior, which is so heavily taboo in Islam. Yeah. And Eric Olson gave a comment that I want to dive into in a second. Eric is saying, I heard reports of businesses planning to leave Karnataka for other states like Tamil Nadu. If that's true, I hope it happens very fast. Karnataka should pay a heavy price. So we're gonna get into this in a second, because this has huge implications economically for all of India, not just this state. But it is true. There are businesses, because of the the escalation, the violence, the temperature that has been raised in the state, there are many industries that are looking to move and leave because it is actually a threat to the stability of their ability to do business, to be in this environment. So there are this is another reason why this is really harmful to all Indians, not just the Muslims. Because if businesses are pulling out, this is going to harm everyone in those states. Katie is saying, wait, no, that was a fragment. I think that was part of something else. And Katie, in response to what I was saying kind of about this interplay of communities and cultures, Katie is saying, it's true, actually. Muslims make Hindu idols. Hindus eat biryani on Hindu festivals, at least in my state, where it's not taboo to eat meat during festivals. And saying, there's bigotry, but there's not this level of segregation without some very tribalistic people. Yes, I completely agree. And the open push for segregation is what is very shocking to me as someone who comes from a country that has obviously a very contentious history of segregation and how it's so taboo. It's like in my culture scene, it's like one of the worst things on the world, right? So to have it be so normalized to just like boycott and segregate another community, it's frankly like really incomprehensible for me. And Bengali Hindu is saying southern states are not so poor, unlike Hindi states. God knows what will happen to them in the future. Yeah. Eric is saying the Muslims being harassed are very poor and most are from lower castes. That's something we need to note. Yeah, it's very true. This is something that I think is not talked about enough, is that the majority Muslims do come from low caste backgrounds, which is, theorized as part of what pushed these communities originally to adopt Islam, is to try to escape casteism. Now, there's still casteism in Muslim communities in India, but, this is some of the historical context. I think one thing I really wanted to talk about was how this is very important. So I'm going to read a quote from the Deccan Herald, which wrote a very good article about the economic boycott of Muslims recently. The Deccan Herald is based in Karnataka. So it's saying, unfortunately, there's scant data on the economic losses being suffered by those bearing the brunt of calls for economic boycotts by hardline Hindus. One key reason is that, quote, Muslims are largely concentrated in the informal sector, which is hardly reported in surveys. The high concentration in self-employment itself is an indication of the vulnerable condition of Muslims. The target of such boycott calls is these self-employed workers, as they depend on their customers for their livelihood. If such calls for a boycott succeed, these small businesses will be forced to sell their products only in Muslim localities. This will further intensify the existing religion-based occupational segregation. So this is an open effort to actually ghettoize these communities, because they won't. There's been so many instances where people are selling bangles, like the bracelets, and they get kicked out of selling anywhere except Muslim neighborhoods and districts. I also want to note that part of this larger story is a big controversy over selling halal meat. That was very complicated and confusing for me, so I don't want to get into it because the details didn't make a lot of sense to me. But I do want to note that that is something that's happening. So wait, there was one thing I really want to read. Where was it? Basically, okay, here it goes. So the article says, can a country that uses democracy as its calling card and aspires to be an inclusive global manufacturing hub continue with domestic politics of exclusion of a section of its people? Quote, India aspires to be an inclusive global manufacturing hub. There have been efforts to attract foreign companies in India. However, India's foreign direct investment has gone down in 2021. Total FDI inflow in India declined to 74 billion in the calendar year of 2021, 50% lower than the previous year. The political environment in the country plays an important role in attracting foreign investment. Quote, no investor will be interested in investing in a situation where there is such a risk of disturbance, said Khalid Khan. Many among the majority community are also beginning to realize the corrosive impact this is having on social harmony and the economy at large. Denial of the rights of Muslims to do business on equal footing with other communities is a denial of their equal citizenship. Bottom line, there are no winners in this game in the long run. If the Hindutva Brigade persists with the agenda of pitting Indians against Indians and the majority against minorities through economic boycotts, no one will emerge unscathed. I really like that article, and I really think that put things into perspective. Also, Telangana extended an open invitation to an entrepreneur to come to Hyderabad as it has better infrastructure, both physical and social. Tamil Nadu has said it is ready to welcome companies that want to move out of Karnataka amid the growing tension. So to Armin's point, what you were saying earlier about power capitalism, this plays into it as well.
All right. See, I told you this is going to be costly. Okay, but read the Qasim. Like, we want to see if Qasim is asking a comment regarding whether. Oh, wait, you removed it.
Oh, sorry.
Why did you remove the comment? Okay, here, this one.
Qasim is saying, do Muslims protest people for eating in public during Ramadan?
In India, he means.
Not that I'm aware of. Maybe it happens. I don't know.
Okay, we
People
can
in
keep
India,
an eye
give me
on
your
it.
perspective.
I don't think that happens. I think that would be a major escalation. Muslims are not, like, as a minority, that would like welcome a lot of attacks on them. So I don't think that happens in India. You correct us if I'm wrong about that.
They already face enough problems just for doing namaz in public. Eric Olson is saying the KKR company, a VC firm, declined India back in 2020 before the great illness struck. It was already on a downward spiral. Did they explicitly say why? Like, did the Forever Stormy is saying, I think we are overestimating how much fanatic Hindus care about the economy. Plus, any company shifting to another state will be targeted by the Modi government, which controls the federal government.
Wait, we're saying that, like, the whole point is that they don't. That's why they're damaging the economy.
Yeah.
We're
saying that they should.
No, I mean, like, the reason why they're so harmful to the economy, because their ideology matters to them more than the economy. That's why it's harmful to the economy. So I think we're doing the opposite.
We're trying to say, like, they're not considering the larger economic impact. This is going to happen. You know, people watching from the outside or even from other states are like, oh, yeesh, I am not going to engage and invest over there. You know, that affects everyone.
Okay, we should move on to the next news. What do you think?
Okay.
Unless there's something. Can we clap?
Oh, this is so funny. Okay, so yes, we can clap.
Next news.
Quote unquote, fast from whiteness at Chicago church sparks massive backlash online. A Christian church in Oak Park, Illinois, has gained much attention lately after announcing their quote-unquote fast from whiteness for the Easter Lenten season. The First United Church in Oak Park put up a banner announcing this fast outside their church. The banner also stated that the church would, quote, build our worship life around the voices of Black people, Indigenous people, and people of color. Turning Point USA, a conservative organization, posted a video criticizing the church's decision. TPUSA's reporter said, quote, in this case, they have decided to separate the white culture from those around it. We want to be creating unity instead of creating a lot of disunity by separating people based on the color of their skin. The video was quickly picked up by conservative news outlets, including the New York Post and Fox News. The church's senior pastor, Reverend John Edgerton, said, quote, they began receiving about 5 voicemail messages a minute after being featured on Fox News, and their website crashed. The church's senior pastor, Reverend John Edgerton, who created the program himself, said it is crucially important for predominantly white churches to take up this work. Quote, in the United States, our voice, meaning white people, is the majority voice, and our message is the one that is always likely to go, that is always going to get a hearing, he said.
What does it mean exactly to fast from whiteness?
Okay, so this is what this is one of those instances where it's like, left-leaning people have like kind of a cool idea, but they have horrible branding that just tanks the whole thing.
Okay.
Like defund the police, abolish the police, when it's like really like, we would like more money for social services, please. Like horrible marketing that turns everyone against the message. So for Restore Me saying, this is so ridiculous, I can't even. So it's actually like not even something that bad. It's like the idea that during their Easter programming, instead of having these images of biblical characters being like obviously white and Europeanized, they're like, oh, actually more ethnically accurate images of these biblical figures, or maybe not ethnically accurate, but portrayed differently, Jesus portrayed as a black man. Or they talk about how they have like poems or sermons written by Native American Christians, or they did a lot of work in their choir to do worship songs in Spanish. Just to
these are great ideas. These are good ideas. Just horrible brand. You're right. Like these are genuinely good ideas, but they're just then the branding is horrible. Wait, maybe the branding is horrible on purpose to bring attention to it. What do you think?
The branding for their banner is literally says "fast from whiteness" and then a roller paint painting over the white part in black.
Oh my god!
That's literally the image they went with.
Actually, I can't. Okay, so if this wasn't racist, which it is, I couldn't be mad. Like, okay, so if this was just outrageous, and then you would be like, oh my god, this is outrageous, and then you paid attention to it, and then it got a whole bunch of clicks, and then you realize what they were doing, you're like, oh, actually this is based, what they're doing is pretty cool. You know what I mean? I like it. More diversity, blah blah blah, right? That's fantastic, right? And being more historically accurate about the characters and stuff like that, right? So you would be, I don't mind an outrageous, clickbaity title just to bring attention to something that is actually good. Okay. However, this is racist, right? So I can't go.
What do you find racist about it?
It's anti-white, right?
Well, so how is it anti-white? You're just saying.
I would endorse. I endorse being outrageous enough, but not outrageous to the point where you actually become racist. But what were you saying? Sorry, I interrupted you.
Well, what do you find racist about it? The name, the banner that's literally painting over the white color, and the same whiteness is in kind of like this font where it's like whiteness. Like, what do you not like about it?
I don't like the thing about it that I wouldn't like if it was fast from blackness. Right? That would be for the exact same reasons. I wouldn't like it for the exact same reasons. So I mean, it's obviously racist. Like, does anybody disagree with me that this is racist?
Yeah. Blank Name is saying it's not racist. It's just cringe.
How is that not racist? You're talking about canceling. You're like fast from whiteness. Like, do I need to explain? You're actually referring.
It's not a fast from white people. It's a fast from white culture, Armin. From the hegemony of white Christian worship. You're
identifying a culture based on people's ethnicity.
Yeah.
Okay, so how is it not racist? Am I?
So I want to read a little bit more about this program.
Wait, more people. I don't understand. More people in the live chat are saying that's not racist. How is it not racist? It's literally referring to people's skin color. How is this not racist? Are you guys serious? You guys are just messing with me?
Well, because in an academic sense, whiteness is not supposed to be put onto the individual. It's supposed to be seen as a structure, or the structure we all live,
which is using people's skin color as labeling things. Yes, but that's racist. I don't care how academic you want to make this sound. You're just using. You're basically you're like, oh, let's not do this culture that this ethnicity of people, like, you just like not to no to that. You're using people's races and skin colors and ethnicity as a way to identify the things that you want to say no to. Even if you want to just refer to certain cultures, just mention what the culture is. Don't mark it with people's race. Anyways, this is definitely racist. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I think it's the literal picture of painting over the white that really gets people going. Wait, if you scroll down, let's watch the video that Turning Point USA put out. Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Wait, no,
Okay,
go up,
I don't,
right there.
isn't Turning Point USA like if Republican? We don't endorse them. Just to be
No, I
clear.
know. We're just seeing what their contention is.
I just want to just make it clear that Turning Point USA is at pure cringe. Okay, so just want to highlight this. Like we don't, these are Republicans. Obviously, we don't like Republicanism. See, we're like the things that we are against, like Republicanism, is not identifying anyone's race or ethnicity. Okay, we could just that's how you stand against things that are bad ideas. Okay, whiteness is not a bad idea. Okay, Republicanism is. I mean, when I say it's not a bad idea, I mean it's not an idea at all. Like not that I was encouraging whiteness as a good thing, just to be clear. It's not a good or bad idea because it's not an idea. Anyways.
We're out in Oak Park, Illinois at First United Church, where for Lent, they have decided to fast from whiteness. And they said, this Lent, we build our worship life around the voices of Black people, Indigenous people, and people of color. Excuse me, what? As Christians, we are called to love one another and to create unity in the church by bringing all cultures and communities together. In this case, they have decided to separate the white culture from those around it. We want to be creating unity instead of creating a lot of disunity by separating people based on the color of their skin. We don't want to go back to segregation times. We need to be bringing people together and loving them by creating more unity and not doing things such as fasting from whiteness.
Okay, so I don't.
What's interesting?
Go ahead.
What's interesting about this is saying, oh, we're trying to create unity, not disunity. Like, that's actually one thing that them in this church would agree on. Like, that's exactly what the church is trying to do by expanding its programming.
Okay,
and the whole point is to combat, to show the quote, the truth of the Christian faith in God's love for all people. So that's that's what the church says. That this is what this is about. It's just their branding of it is so perfect for conservatives who are, against critical race theory to jump down their throat. It's like handed over to them on a platter.
Okay, let me tell you how this sounds like to me. Okay, let's say, for example, there's a whole bunch of anti-Japanese racism in Korea, right? Which I think there is, right?
Yes.
And there are some Koreans, and then by Korea I mean South Korea. There's some Koreans who want to fight that, okay? And they're having this event that they want to show you Japanese culture and celebrate Japanese culture and have Japanese songs and events. And they're bringing Korean, there's this event to fight anti-Japanese racism in Korea, okay? I wouldn't like it if they called the event, let's cancel Koreanism. All right, let's cancel Korea, right? That's not no, okay? So I'm being consistent. I'm not or if in India some Hindus wanting to reach out to Muslims, okay? I wouldn't think it the good and be endorse to stop anti-Muslim bigotry. I don't think it would be a good idea to have let's end Hindus. Let's cancel Hindus. I don't think that would be a good idea to name the event. If you want to fight anti-Muslim bigotry, just call it fighting anti-Muslim bigotry, canceling I don't know. Yeah. So that's what I
I think we both really like the idea, the branding that the promotion of this is coming at the expense of something else is counter to their own goals.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, as somebody who likes to have outrageous titles to bring attention to something, okay, I just think this is not the, I'm not saying the method is wrong. I do get it, right? I mean, it worked. I mean, these people are not idiots. They got coverage on Fox News, so their method works. But
apparently,
I still can't
this programming that they've had has really been very well received, and they've gotten a lot more attendance than previously. So it's working out for them. I find it hilarious to think about this. Apparently, it's a majority white area, like majority white congregation, like badly singing all these songs in Spanish.
Wait, did they not have Spanish people to speak this Spanish speaking people?
I mean, I don't know exactly how diverse their
wait, so to celebrate diversity,
the whole area is majority white.
Okay, so to celebrate diversity, they just had like people who don't speak Spanish, just like as their mother tongue, to sing Spanish songs. They couldn't bring.
I believe that was part of this. Yes, I mean, because the whole congregation is supposed to sing along.
Well, you're not. Apparently, they're not canceling whiteness strong enough. Go find somebody who actually speaks the language. What the hell? All right.
And so this is really funny. Yeah. So let's see the reactions from the live chat, because we have a lot of reactions. So, Ghost Bunny is saying Armin's pissed off on behalf of the white people. Well, we are just like, it's cringe, but oh well.
It's not on behalf of you, okay? It's not on behalf of white people, okay? I don't care. I'm not, it's not for the sake of white people, okay? I'm not defending white people. I'm just anti-racism, okay? I'm just against racism, even if it's not a big deal, okay? I know anti-white racism is not as big of a deal compared to a lot of other racism, okay? Racism is cringe, and yeah, I don't like it.
So Blank Name has a contention, and he disagrees that this is, big R racism, like you were saying. Blank Name is saying it is not related to white skin color itself. You can be black and exhibit whiteness, the structure of American society.
Oh, really? No, really, Blank Name. It has no, it has no relation to the white skin. The fact that they're calling it the whiteness is just randomly happens to be just the name of the skin color that they're associating the majority of the people who they're trying to associate the culture with. Like, just the word whiteness has nothing to do with white people. It's just completely irrelevant. Is that what you're saying? The completely different concept. It just randomly, they might as well just call it greenness, huh? It's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence that the word whiteness happens to be the same thing that they refer to the people that are majority white, right? Like, it's just like, yeah, they were just like randomly shooting darts at colors on a board, right? And it could have been green or blue or purple, but just by chance it just happened to be white. Is that what you're saying? Okay, yeah, it has nothing to do with it. Sure. Sure.
Ghost Bunny is saying the main message is to uplift voices that may have been ignored or not taken as seriously. People listen to white people all the time, and they want the opportunity to uplift the other voices in their community. Yep, that's the intention of this. And I think
and I liked it. I like what they're doing. I just don't like fasting from whiteness. I just like guys, I know people are getting butthurt, okay? Like, from me being upset about this, okay? I understand that this hurts your racism, okay? I know that most of you I understand that so all of you in the live chat have internalized your racism so much that you don't understand that you're racist, okay? But for actually some of us who are more enlightened here and we could recognize racism when we see it, we get upset about these things, okay? But you guys, it's okay, okay? You are not the same level. You're just racist, okay? But yeah.
Oh, you're gonna flip it and throw it back at them now, eh?
Yeah.
I think for me this was fascinating to see kind of the intersection of like woke rhetoric coming into the sphere of Christianity, and then the conservatives freaking out about it. I thought it was hilarious. And I saw a comment on this news story that said, if they really want to fast from whiteness, they'll have to sell off the pipe organs, because pipe organs were invented by whiteness. They can just clap and stomp instead, and definitely turn off the electricity, because electricity was discovered by whiteness. And is that an insulated building? If you're going to really cancel whiteness, shouldn't you swap it out? Hope no one's wearing shoes, and the women folks will have to throw out their birth control and bring back polio and smallpox.
Oh my god!
So
what about having
it gets a little racist, so I don't want to get into it. But people reacted strongly, like, "Oh my god!"
I mean, if you want to, okay, if you want to say white culture has nothing to do with white people, okay, this is not about people's ethnicity, this is about a culture, okay, then nobody should get mad by saying, well, this is all then white culture, and people are like, oh no, that's racist. You can't say that's that's whiteness. Like, why is it racist? We're not referring to a people. We're not referring to a people. We're referring to whiteness as a culture. So if we say science is whiteness, and if we say like scheduling things is being on time is whiteness, nobody should say now that we're being racist. Okay, so because this is just we're not referring to people. So yeah, I guess like here you go. Are you gonna get mad now? Are you gonna get mad? Like these people who had a schedule for when this event is, they shouldn't have a schedule. All right, because that's apparently being on time is also whiteness. Apparently, okay. So
yeah, they do say that.
yeah, they do say that. So what are we gonna do now? Does that sound racist to you right now if we say that? Because if it sounds racist to you now, then you're a hypocrite. If it didn't sound racist to you earlier when they were saying fast from whiteness, and we're like, that's not racist. But now if we say science is whiteness culture, now it sounds racist to you. Yeah, if now it sounds racist to you, maybe you're a hypocrite. Maybe this is like cognitive dissonance a little bit happening, huh? Yeah. All right.
Blank name is he can't stand you. He's like nuanced. Armin is so effing literal.
Okay, if you think I'm being too literal, do you think if somebody says science is whiteness, science is white culture, okay?
The scientific method, yeah.
The scientific method is like whiteness, or like, do you think like does that sound racist to you or no? Okay, because if you want to be consistent, then that shouldn't sound racist to you at all.
Yeah, because that is par for the course in this kind of rhetoric. To say that the scientific method is a construction of white male masculinity, like
yes.
Yeeks. Anyways, I just thought this was hilarious, and I knew we would have fun talking about it.
So actually, it's the same thing with toxic masculinity, okay? I understand that toxic masculinity refers to something that is real, and that it's also something that is a problem. I understand that. But the label toxic masculinity is not a good name for it. I understand what you're referring to, and I understand that there's something that needs to be addressed and something that it is harmful. I understand that, okay? But maybe come up with a different name, because it just sounds like it's just not a good branding. Okay, you're like, oh well, this is academia. Like, well, maybe academics need to figure out how to label things better, because it makes it sound like you're just against manhood, right? It just
we were talking about this recently because of that interview that happened recently on Jon Stewart that just felt like I was dragged back to 2015 with the rhetoric that was going around. Like, and it was interesting for you to bring up the scheduling and staying on time as a construct of whiteness thing just now, because a few days ago you were talking about how you actually understand the argument of talking about this idea of like efficiency and like there are different constructs or understandings of time in different cultures across different times and different countries. Like this is observable, and you know, it is a certain way in like Western European countries. And so you're like, I do understand this. I know what they're talking about. But when they put it in Smithsonian on a billboard and just call it a construct of whiteness, like this is bad branding, and it offends a lot of people, saying like, it seems like you're perpetuating a stereotype that non-white people can't be on time, which is used against people in a racist way usually.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Branding is important. Okay. If you don't pay. Yeah. Anyways.
These ivory tower elites.
Again, it goes. It's like it goes back against to like people's like defund the police, and they're like, "What do you actually mean? Oh, we mean like move money from like militarizing police to actually like more social.
We would
services,
like more social spending."
Like, okay, well, your branding is fucking freaking horrible. Like, this is a good idea. And then
people like, no, we freaking mean defund the police, and then they're like, when we say abolish the police, we don't really mean it. And then I'm like. There's a lot of people that will.
So the bad branding is important.
It, they mean it.
Okay, so exactly, the bad branding makes it possible for racists to actually pick it up as a weapon. Okay, so you'd be like, well, it's referring to. You can't be like, I'm gonna ignore the bad branding because it's actually referring to something correctly. Well, the bad branding will be misused by people who actually mean harm. So there you go. All right,
it's counter to your own goals.
Exactly.
Lefties,
Okay.
we need to get better at marketing. Please, can we collectively get better at marketing? Because I care a lot about these progressive causes, but we keep shooting ourselves in the foot.
Yes. Okay, wait. Can we oh yeah, PK is saying branding is everything. Well, not everything, but it's important. Can we clap for the next news?
Yes.
Next news.
Next news. Spain criminalizes the harassment of women undergoing abortions. On April 6th, Spain's Senate approved landmark legislation criminalizing the harassment of women who are undergoing abortions. Proposed by the Socialist Party, the new law will help women avoid being harassed when, quote, exercising the right to voluntary interruption of pregnancy. Abortions through the 14th week of pregnancy are legal in Spain. These abortions do not require medical justifications, although women below 18 years old who need an abortion are required to have parental consent. Despite being legal, doctors and government hospitals decline from performing the procedures, calling themselves conscientious objectors. This also forces women seeking abortions to seek out private clinics. This leads some women to travel hundreds of miles to access private abortion clinics. Most of these private abortion clinics are camped at by anti-abortion protesters. According to the Association of Accredited Clinics for Pregnancy Termination, or ACAI, more than 100 women report being harassed when they go to the abortion clinics each year. ACAI added that 89% of women seeking abortion reported being harassed, while 66% felt they were in danger. Some lawmakers argue, however, that this new law will infringe on the constitutional right to freedom of speech.
Wait, it's not a freedom of speech to harass people.
Well, they try to contend like we're not harassing women, we're just camping outside this medical facility and praying for them.
Okay, that's harassment. I think that's harassment. Isn't that harassment? What do you think?
It depends on how it's done.
Okay.
I mean, if I was in that situation, and even if someone was just like praying silently, but they had a big sign, you know, what they usually do is with, you know, the pictures of the fetuses or whatever. Like,
yeah, that's harassment. I would
still find that, yeah.
That is harassment. When you like have these like images, gross images, like forced upon people who are trying to get abortions, that should be legal. Okay, that should be legal.
Are you saying legal?
Illegal harassment. It shouldn't be allowed. Okay. I used to think like these laws don't make any sense because I used to think like, well, just make harassment illegal. Why are we making like, don't you already have laws that makes harassment illegal? Why do we need a specific law that makes this specific kind of harassment illegal? But I changed my mind on that. I think like it makes sense to, when something is a problem, just to send a message, just a government to be like, we have made harassment illegal, but we're making a law specifically for this type of harassment as well, just to send a message, just to make it more clear that we're paying attention to this, right? I think there's a value in making it clear where the government is standing and supporting the citizens, like by making specific laws like this, even if it's supposed to be covered by general laws. What do you think?
I agree, because obviously if this is still a problem, they need additional laws to address the problem. Like we might have laws in the books, but it isn't solving the issue at hand. So we need further work to address it accordingly.
I mean, some people say like, well, because the problem is not that the problem is that you're not enforcing the already existing laws. Instead of making new laws, just go enforce the ones you have, like that.
I know, but what if the technical language actually doesn't cover this accordingly?
That's exactly the
answer. What I find really interesting is that so like I said, there are all these issues with abortion in Spain that I didn't know about. So Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's Socialist Party is what helped push this into effect. And I didn't know that although, you know, abortion is technically legal, it's extremely common for public government providers to just conscientiously object to providing it. So even though it's legal, there's this loophole where they don't have to provide it if it, probably if it violates their faith. And, again, Catholicism just really effing things up for women. So another footnote, which I found interesting, is that Sanchez's government is also working on a law to ensure that all public hospitals will offer abortions, and further legislation that will allow 16 to 17-year-olds to end a pregnancy without permission from their parents, as they currently can in the UK and France. I think that's also a positive, a step in a good direction.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's great. Good job, Spain. Spain is very Catholic, so was very Catholic at least. So the fact that it's moving in this direction, then this is literally the country where the Spanish Inquisition came from. And now look at
nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I could see it in your eyes that you were waiting for me.
All right, that's good. Do you want to add anything? Oh, there was a comment here.
There was a comment. Can you read that while I go to the bathroom?
Okay. All right. PK saying that's a slippery slope. Freedom of speech is too valuable. All right, so I'm gonna cut this in two parts, and I'm gonna answer them separately. Okay. When you say that's a slippery slope, do you know that is referring to a logical fallacy? Okay. So you just identified your own fallacy. So that means that what you're going to say is incorrect. I don't know why people refer to like, oh, this is a slippery slope. This is going to lead to that. Well, if it's a slippery slope, that means that means you are self-identifying your logical fallacy. That means that you are that means that your conclusion is incorrect. Okay. So first, just want to mention that. Second of all, you're saying that freedom of speech is too valuable. Yeah, but freedom of speech, again, it doesn't cover freedom of harassment, okay? Freedom of speech doesn't give you a right to an audience. When you force your, fetuses, images of fetuses, aborted fetuses, upon people who don't want to see it, that is not freedom of speech. That is you thinking like you're entitled to an audience, to a captive audience that cannot escape your disgusting images, right? Freedom of speech means that if you want to, on your website or on wherever you are, have images of disgusting dead fetuses, you should be able to do that and nobody can stop you. But if you try to make it a group of people not be able to not see it if they don't want to, then you're forcing something upon people where it bothers them, right? And that is not, that is harassment. So that shouldn't, I think that shouldn't be allowed. Anyways, so that was that. Did we want to highlight anything else, or do we want to move on?
No.
Okay, cool.
Then we can go to the next news.
Cool. Somebody shouting in the live chat. I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I answered them.
Oh. Okay, cool. Okay, can we hold on? Can we clap for?
You already know we can.
Yes, we can. I guess. Next news.
Atheist Republic approved for YouTube fundraising.
I don't know even what to show on the screen. I could show you a video. This is what I have prepared. So one of our videos. Okay. So if you look at our videos, they now have this green icon under them, says fundraiser. And you can see on the right side, there's a donate button. So that means our YouTube channel can now start fundraising. So, we could do that already, but Atheist Republic as a nonprofit, as a 501c, YouTube has now approved us for fundraising as a nonprofit, as a charity in United States, as a 501c. And not only our channel can do this, any channel that has monetization and has a giving section under the monetization tab can now start a fundraiser or join this fundraiser and do fundraising for Atheist Republic. So this is fantastic. Look, do you guys see, like, also in the live chat when people are doing?
Yeah, pull up this stream so we can show how it sits in the live chat.
Yeah. So, for example, if you go to the channel and then like this stream, if you watch this stream, like this is us right now, right? You can see
that's me.
Yeah, this is us right now. Okay, so you can see in the live chat, you can see this thing is showing up right at the very top, and people could click on it and donate. So this is going to make it a lot easier for us to do fundraising for Atheist Republic, and this is amazing. This is a very powerful weapon for us right now.
Yes. It's so exciting to not only have
What?
our monetization back, but we get all of these other tools available for us. It's amazing.
Wait, did we just get already to $555? We just started this. That's amazing.
Holy crap. Oh my God.
I was
Oh.
like,
I totally misread that earlier. I thought it was just like
how did that
$5.
happen?
I'm dyslexic.
Yeah, I thought it was $15. No, I just like,
Holy
yeah, it's fun.
crap.
That is crazy. Okay, I don't
That's
know who's donating, but
amazing.
thank you so much for whoever is clicking on these buttons.
I know. Now
550
what I need to do is I need to figure out how we can see the analytics of who contributed. I think I can do that on the
Wait.
back end.
Wait, I think.
Because, you know, when people
Yeah,
give
no-
super chats, we can thank them on air, or when people donate to our legal fund on GoFundMe. link
No,
in the
it says
description,
that
by
the
way.
names is going to be. We should figure out where the names are going to show up, because it does say like if they decide, like people could decide whether they're going to be anonymous or not. But guys, the good thing about this is, like, as Doorknob Head is pointing out in the live chat. Let me bring up Doorknob Head. He said 100% of the money goes to AR. Yeah, so there's YouTube covers the transaction fees, like, and it doesn't take any cut. So when people do super chats. When people do super chats or become members, YouTube takes a cut. But this one, because
Wait.
we're a nonprofit, what?
We'll go to the live
Wait.
chat. If you go to the live chat and scroll up, it doesn't show up on our end of the StreamYard, but it shows up in the live chat of who donated. Doorknob Head donated $500.
Oh, it was Doorknob Head? How do you see
Holy
that?
crap. Like I said, go to the live chat and scroll up. You'll see. And then someone else anonymously donated $20. Wow.
That's it.
Holy
Oh my
crap.
God.
Thank
Wow.
you so much, Doorknob Head. That's incredible.
That's crazy. Thank you so much. Oh my God, Doorknob Head. Think you're. Oh my. Okay. Well, thank you guys. No, Susanna is emotional now.
Aw,
Yeah, I
that's
don't know how to say.
amazing.
That's
Thank
a
you
lot. I
so
don't know how to-
much.
Thank you, Doorknob. That's very sweet. And wow, this is what a great news. Now we have two news. Like, we have, first of all, we have fundraising, and plus we just got $500 on one stream. That's crazy generous. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. We really have such a generous community. It's really incredible.
Doorknob is saying 100% gets me, Randy. That what can I say? Oh, okay. So guys, that because all the support goes to Atheist Republic, and none of it goes to the transaction fees or YouTube. That's why he likes that. Thank you so much, Doorknob. I appreciate that.
Amazing. Thank you. This is going to be a huge help to our legal situation right now in particular. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
yes,
my gosh.
Yes. True.
Wow.
Thank
wow,
you.
wow,
Thank
wow.
you, guys.
So yeah, this is a huge, tool and benefit to our community. If you are a fan of the Atheist Republic Persian channel, you'll also see this over there as well. And I think we might be able to remonetize their Arabic channel soon. And
Yeah.
and what's cool about this is it allows people to always contribute to Atheist Republic. Like, you don't have to be waiting for a live stream to go send us a super chat. Like, this just sits on videos and clips, and you can do whenever you feel like, whenever you're available.
Yeah. So PK is saying there were others who donated earlier. You missed them. Yeah, they don't show up on StreamYard. We have to pay attention.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm really sorry to everyone we missed. So
How do
going
we-
forward, I'll keep the live chat open in a different window so that I can
Yes.
monitor it better.
Yeah. How do we? Yeah, guys. Okay, so for people who are in the live chat, if somebody donates to our fundraiser, because we don't see it on StreamYard, please let us know. Let us know. Tag us and say that somebody donated, so we could thank them for this. And maybe we could figure out who donated earlier, so we could eventually thank them.
Yeah, I'll look
later.
on the back end and see if I can find anything.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for letting us know, guys. I wish StreamYard would show us, but it's okay. People
Yeah.
let us know. Okay. Anyways, thank you to everybody who donated, and thank you again to Doorknob Head for a very generous donation. We will spend it on defending ourselves against all the legal. Yeah, but thank you so much for that.
Also,
you wanna-
thank you to Armin for working to get this all set up.
Oh, thank you. Well, thanks for saying that. Guys, for people who are just another reminder that you shouldn't be donating to us anything if you're struggling financially. Please, please, please do not donate to us financially, even half a cent. Okay. It's important for people who are even struggling even a little bit to take care of themselves instead. But you can still support us for free by just liking the video. It benefits us a lot when you like the video. It grows our channel. So by spending half a second without any financial cost, you could help us grow. So please like the video. And if you want to even do more to help the video without spending any money, is you could leave a comment after the stream is over, and you could even share the video. Sharing the video also really helps us grow the channel. Okay, so these are all free ways to support us if you are interested in supporting us in non-financial ways.
And if you made it this far through our stream, subscribe. What are you doing?
Subscribe.
Join us.
Yes,
We do this every week. We also have really fun Q&As.
Blank
And
Name is saying, thank you guys, you are awesome. Thank you, Blank Name.
thank you, Blank Name. This is also a good reminder for people to join our newsletter because, we've been suspended off of Twitter. You never know where we will be suspended from or banned from next. So where you can always find Atheist Republic in an event of a crisis, we will reach out to you on our newsletter because no one can take that away from us. So please join our newsletter, link in the description below.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you, and thank you, Mohammed, for reminding everybody to like, subscribe, and also turn on the notifications. And everybody else, and Secular Rarity is saying this was a good stream.
No,
Eric,
thank you. I had fun today. Do you have fun today,
yes,
Armin?
Me too. Always.
I felt
all right, guys.
a lot better, so my energy was up a lot. Which I like.
Yeah,
I was not feeling. I was in pain last week.
Well, it's good that you're not in pain. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye. See you next week.
See you guys.